Hello and welcome back to Tom's Garage, and today I want to show you the Lexus ES 300h Premium. Now apologies, it's a little bit darker than I thought. It's almost 4 o'clock here in Scotland in January, and this is just the time of day in the sky that we're going to have to deal with the lack of daylight. At least it's dry. Now I wanted to show you this because the Lexus ES, although it's been out for 6-7 years now, 2019 it came here in the UK, this is 2026. Late 2025 into 2026 model. It's going to get replaced this year. So here in the UK, this car only comes with a 2.5 litre 4-cylinder petrol, hybrid front wheel drive, CVT transmission. We don't get an all-wheel drive, we don't get other engine options that you get in other markets. So this is what you get it as is, and this is premium trim, which is the base entry level one for 2026. There is a premium plus, and then there's a Takumi. There is no other variants. Throughout the years there has been various trim levels, but that's the one you get for 2026. We do get the large Lexus spindle grille, an integrated radar cruise control safety system. You can tell if it's a higher end one because you get the tri-LED headlights built in. This one's just the main beam with the daytime running light. We do get little scooters there for the headlight wash, parking sensors all round, only reversing camera on the premium trim. And the ES itself is a large, dependable, reliable saloon car. You can't get in a state, unfortunately. It's about 5 metres in length, 4.9 odd, got a 2.8 metre wheelbase, so it's fairly large. Plenty of room in the back for people as well. That's what all these cars are ideal for, like taxis or chauffeurs. It's neat little details that Lexus do. Like, look at this. Pop that out. Little cup holders there. I've got little, like, nice little detents to them. A little bit of engineering. That's lined with fuzzy stuff. I have been in cars. This is £43,000 or just over that. I have been in cars a lot more money and it does not have cup holders as nice as that. That's just factory plastic on it, but I'm not going to take that off. A little ski-through hatch. The seats don't fold down in the hybrid, which is a shame. We've got child seat ISOFIX points in the outer seats, and then you see the charger ports there, little airplane style map pockets, window switch. Everything feels quite nice, soft, squishy. Higher trims, you do get like blinds and other niceties if you go for the Takumi one. This has got the black Tahara leather. There are a couple of options for the interior and exterior. Same as this exterior colour, it's a nice paint. Lexus do nice paints in this. All the ES models in UK come with this little spoiler. Round the rear, you're going to notice as well, gone is the kind of blue from the Lexus badge as well as the emblem for the hybrid. It's all silver now, and then your rear camera, which you need to remember to like rub your finger over because they do get a bit dirty. Now you've got about 454 litres of boot space. Pops open as you can see, lined with fuzzy stuff, nice and deep wide. As I mentioned, seats don't fold, so you can get your suitcases in there, you can get your golf club or anything other large, because that tucks right in the back there. And we do get hinges, so watch out that doesn't damage anything you put in the boot. I like the little kind of lights, they look like little L's repeated over and over for Lexus. And with a little shark fin up above for your radio receiver, etc. Now, but all 2025, 2026 models come with a sunroof as standard. You never got that previously. And we've got a little door mechanism that goes up and down. But overall, before we jump in the interior, one last look in the exterior. It will be going this year because it's getting replaced by another ES, but wanted to show you what it looks like at least. Now, let's step inside the car to see what it's like. Car is on at the moment, but we do have keyless entry standard, as well as electric folding mirrors, which are not auto fold, so you need to remember that if you're buying one of these. You need to go up different trim levels to get more amenities like that, but at least it's electric. Same as the steering wheel, we've got reach and rake adjustment, which is electric, which is nice to see in the entry level variant of a car. Heated seats and heated steering wheel. Higher trim, you can get your ventilated and a blind as well, but you can leave it in auto and let the car decide. You don't have to touch physical buttons. Because this car's a little bit older in terms of generation, it's straddling touchscreen for things and physical buttons, which I like. Like, I do like buttons, so we do have a screen up here, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but we do have physical buttons for your climate. Just look at this little detail, like changing your temperature. It kind of rotates round. Go on as a CD player. I do believe there's a CD player in early ones. 2 cup holders. No trackpad, but we do have a phone charger. As you can see, wireless phone charger. Dual hinged centre console, which is lined with fuzzy stuff and has illuminated USB-C chargers as well as a 12 volt power outlet. Wide, comfortable seats. Again, quite nice. I'm 5'11". This has got 8-way adjustment in the base model. You do get, I think it's a 12-way in the Takumi line with better like quality leather seats. This is like the Tahara leather they call it. But you can get different colours, so I do give them the kudos for that. I'm just not a fan of big black A-pillars and then with a big light. Like, I just think that does not go. But if you get this light and the lighter trim, it makes it a bit better. There's no like horrible black gloss plastic or anything, so that's worth mentioning. Auto hold button. I'll show you the reverse camera pop up. That's the quality of it. It's alright, as well as your little analog clock, which is quite nice. Glove box. Softly damped, not lined with fuzzy stuff, which surprises me on quite a premium car. And then we have your USB-A and USB-C. This little pouch here is lined with felt, so I guess if you weren't charging your phone, you could pop your phone into there as well. But I'm just going to leave it on charge. And then you've got your EV mode and then auto hold mode, which means that when you come up to a set of lights, you're able to, exactly what it says, auto hold, to prevent you rolling back. Left hand side of the steering wheel is like your voice control, and you can control this little screen inside the dash there, inside the gauge cluster. Right hand side, your adaptive cruise control, lane departure and all that good stuff. You can change the speed and activate it there. Heated steering wheel's come up nice. Then there's your auto lights, you can put them all the way on, same as the wipers. You can go off, down for auto, never have to worry about it again. All around electric windows, and it's got a little 2 to let you know which one's the driver at night. So if I turn these lights off, it's a little bit darker now, not ideal for GoPro, but we've got that. Sunroof does tilt and open, letting in some of this winter light. And if I hit this button here, it tilts so you can vent out, I guess, the day you've got hot air in Scotland, maybe in a warmer climate. But overall, it's a nice place to be. Logically laid out gauge cluster, logically laid out controls. Everything feels nice quality. You've got your drive modes up here for your sport, comfort and eco mode. Similar to what you see in the Lexus LC500. They're nice and easy to get to, and if you want to toggle between them, you can just jump between. You can see you've got the gauge cluster changing there. So what is this Lexus ES like to drive on the mean streets of Glasgow? Well, the gritters have been out, it's 2 degrees, it's damp, it's a bit icy, daylight's fading and it's almost 4:45. But what can we say? Well, the car turns in nice and light, effortless, firmly planted in the comfort and luxury side of the kind of spectrum. It's nowhere near trying to be sporty. Even the F-Sport trims are just more an appearance package, and it really harms the ride more than anything. This car is soft, it's easy to use, easy to drive. I refer to it as the ultimate commuter car because it's reliable, it's dependable, it's got creature comforts, and it just gets you out feeling like a better version of you than when you got in. And that's half thanks to the supple ride, the nice materials, the ambience. It's quite a quiet car to be inside for a combustion vehicle, and it just makes you put some smooth radio on and you can sit in inside lane in a motorway or something, and it just makes you feel relaxed and zen, like you're not in an urgency to get somewhere. It's not encouraging you to put your foot down and drive fast or crazy. It's definitely just a nice place to be, and the kind of car I always recommend to somebody if they're looking for a dependable, luxurious vehicle. There's not much else I would recommend because you've got 10-year warranty, 100,000 miles with this car. It comes well equipped, and other Lexus products, not the ES specifically, people have bought based on my recommendation, just because I've bought one, converted my brother and my mum to buy one. My father had a Lexus previously, and other family members and friends of family have got a Lexus just purely because they're good, solid products. You can buy them in the used market as well. The ES has been out since 2019, so we're 2026, it's 7 years now. So we've got the new model coming out later this year, radically different. First impressions, looking at it, it doesn't look like a traditional Lexus. This feels and looks like a traditional Lexus, which is again my urge if you're looking in 2026 and you want something known, tried and tested. You want buttons, you want tactile feel. This car offers all that in spades. The only thing I would say is because of the size of the vehicle, you're limited because you can't get an estate yes, all cars in this class, like your 5 Series, your E-Class, etc., are all huge now, and this is almost 5 metres in length, so trying to park it and navigate it around UK roads and supermarket car parks, etc., are not the easiest thing to do in the world, but it's certainly a good place to be, and you feel, yeah, as I said, relaxed at the beginning of this video. It's just a nice car. It's not going to set the world on fire. It's not an F anything. It's just more a L for luxurious, L for Lexus. But overall, I'm pretty impressed by it. This is the kind of car, if you're looking for longevity, reliability, it's got the 10-year warranty, 100,000 miles, provided you get it serviced at Lexus every interval. It's going to last you a long time, and they're known to be well built and solid. And for somebody that doesn't want a plug-in hybrid, maybe you don't want everything to be through a touchscreen like so many cars are these days, this could be the car for you, especially before they change it in 2026. Later on this year, this is the beginning of January, so probably I'd imagine by summer we'll see the new generation coming out, which is all touchscreen. It even doesn't have the Lexus logo from what I've seen in photos in it, it just says Lexus going across. But hopefully we'll get a shot of that later on in the year, but I wanted to show you this as it is. This is the Lexus ES 300h Premium, and thanks to Lexus Glasgow for allowing me to showcase it to you.